God our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is too cold for anybody to go out tonight.
Yes. We got a straggler.
Uh-oh.
Spoke too soon,
You
Bill.
have an audience.
Have to ruin it.
Ms. Claire, roll call.
Miss Sorb,
Here.
Miss Gaston,
Here.
Miss Alexander,
Here.
Miss Keratin,
Here.
Miss Clear,
Here.
Mr. Davis, Miss Chichester.
Here.
Madam
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
have you heard from Mr. Davis?
I have not. I just checked my email right before we gabbled in here, and there was nothing.
Thank you.
All right.
President,
Ms. Chichester?
I was going to make a motion to excuse Mr. Davis.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Madam President, I second.
So we have a motion on the floor from Ms. Chichester and a second from Ms. Alexander to excuse Mr. Davis. Roll call.
Miss Sorb,
No.
Miss Gaston,
Yes.
Miss Alexander,
Yes.
Miss Keratin,
I abstain.
Miss Clear.
Yes.
Miss Chichester.
Yes.
Motion pass 4-1-1.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb.
point of order. According to council rules, you cannot abstain from a vote unless you have I can't remember the exact terminology, but there has to be a valid reason.
Ms. Keratin.
I abstain because I don't know if he's going to be tardy. I don't know if there was an emergency. I don't know what's happening. So avoidance of just saying that his absence is excused, I want to assume that there was an emergency versus negligence. So that's why I abstained. I don't want to side either way.
Okay, thank you for clarifying your abstination. Okay. Everyone should have the agenda in front of them for tonight. Did everybody get a chance to look at it? Do we have a motion on the floor in regards to the agenda?
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston,
I would like to make a motion that we accept the agenda for tonight as is.
do I have a second?
Madam President,
Ms. Keratin? Sorry, I apologize. Ms. Clear.
I'll second that.
So I have a motion from Ms. Gaston and a second from Ms. Clear to accept the agenda as is. Roll call.
Miss Sorb,
Yes.
Miss Gaston.
Yes.
Miss Alexander.
Yes.
Miss Keratin.
Yes.
Miss Clear.
Yes.
Miss Chichester.
Yes.
Motion pass 6-0.
All right, everyone should also have the minutes from January 20th, 2026. I'm sure everybody's had a chance to look over them.
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston,
I would like to make a motion that we accept January 20th meeting minutes as is.
do I have a second?
Madam President,
Ms. Clear.
I'll second.
So I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Gaston and a second from Ms. Clear to accept the minutes from January 20th, 2026 as is. Roll call.
Miss Sorb,
Yes.
Miss Gaston,
Yes.
Miss Alexander,
Yes.
Miss Keratin,
Yes.
Miss Clear,
Yes.
Miss Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Ms. Clear, do you have any communications?
Madam
Yes, I
President.
have brief communications.
One second, Ms. Claire, I apologize. Ms.
Go
Clear?
ahead, Ms. Clear.
Thank you. So the documents in our files have been updated with the 2025 council meeting agendas and minutes. I'm still working to get the committee stuff sorted out. I'm working through my files to make sure everything's good within those. The finance manager asked me if I could change council rules to reflect the name council manager or finance manager instead of finance director. And I wasn't sure if that change needed to pass through you guys first or if that was something I could just alter. I wanted to check on that.
I think, Madam Chair, Madam,
Mayor Nichols.
I believe finance manager is what the charter
Mm-hmm.
states. So if you want to be in compliance with the charter, then you probably, but to your
Madam
point,
President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'd like to make a motion that we amend council rules to change the verbiage from finance director to finance manager.
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston.
I second.
So I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Gaston to amend council rules to state that it is finance manager instead of finance director. Any discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Curitin,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Madam President, point of order. May we note that Mr. Davis is now here? He was here at 7:05. I'm not sure how that gets officially noted, but I wanted to make sure that that was noted.
Mr. Dieters.
However you need to note it in the minutes, however you need to do it.
Ms. Clear, if you could note the minutes that Mr. Davis did arrive, but at 7:05.
Got that?
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston.
point of order, I have a question for Mr. Dieters.
Is it in regards to this?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead.
If you arrive a couple minutes late, do you then are we still counting them in roll call?
I don't believe your council rules indicate that if you're not at roll call, you can't vote. There's nothing in the law that would prevent you from allowing the person to vote unless your actual council rules somehow would have some type of prohibition against that.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb.
I'm trying to find the section real quick, but I believe there is something in council rules that states if you're not here for roll call, then I believe it's something the president has to have some kind of verbiage to permit the individual to vote, I feel like.
What section are you
Actually,
looking at?
so I just found 7.3 roll call. Before proceeding with the business of the council, the clerk of council shall call the roll, determine the presence of quorum, and enter into the minutes the members present, absent, and excused. To be recorded as present, a member of council shall be in the council chambers at the time of roll call. I would also like to point out that we did pass to excuse him. So that passed. So I don't know how we proceed from here.
I ain't gotta say nothing. I'm sorry. My bad. Madam President, I ain't gotta say nothing. I see her.
The President Council recognizes Mr. Davies. Did you have something to say?
No, I was just saying, we don't have to argue about it I'll stay quiet, I ain't sure.
Madam President,
Ms. Clear.
I would like to refer, the Rules and Public Policy reviews council rules anyway, and if we need clarity on this particular rule, I'm happy to take that up in committee and figure out what the best practice should be. That way we know what to do moving forward. I don't think that requires a motion. I think that's just a president of council would refer to committee that task.
I agree that we do need some clarification on that. I'll go ahead and refer that to Rules and Laws in public policy in order to dig deep into that. Mr. Davies, I'll let it slide for tonight, but please remember that we start at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And you need to be present at roll call so that we can do the city's business,
Copy.
okay? And also as a reminder about dress code, we're not doing any kind of outside wear, so if you could remove your hat. Okay. Any other communication, Ms. Claire?
Just one more. Nameplates, we're working on getting them. We found the vendor, we found all of that information. I just need to contact some people to get familiarized with the process for ordering, because I don't have access to those accounts yet, so I'm going to see about getting that taken care of.
Okay.
And that is all I have for this evening.
Thank you. Any one of our vast amount of audience signed in for, to speak?
There is no one signed in to speak during public comments for this evening.
Okay. And also, I'm going to assume there's a no here too, but no guest speakers have been, no? Okay.
Not that I've been made aware of.
Excellent. Okay, so we'll move on to committee reports. City Community Development and Recreation.
Thank you, Madam President. We have our next meeting on February, you know what, I think it's the 9th. Yep, February 9th at 7 o'clock. I just wanted to make a note that the CCDR will be discussing a new event for North College Hill. As you guys may or may not be aware, this year the USA turns 250. And I think it would be really cool to have something for July 5th, which is a Saturday. So stay tuned. My committee and I will be working together along with an outside organization to just bring the neighbors together. Just a little bit of fun and cheer. So if you guys want to join my meeting on the 9th, just send me an email and you can join. And if you have something from the audience, if you guys want to speak or give ideas or whatever, send me an email and I'll read it out loud. And I will have a few minutes for the audience to come and speak on the topics. So that is all that I have, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gaston. So Budget and Finance, Ms. Zorb.
Sorry, I was writing myself a note. Thank you, Madam President. Budget and Finance has not met since our last council meeting. We will meet again on February 9th at 7:30 p.m. I would like to point out that if anyone has any items for the agenda, please get them to me by this Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zorb. Rules and Public Policy, Ms. Clear.
Thank you, Madam President. We have not met since our last meeting. Our next meeting will be on February 9th at 6 o'clock. And I would like to echo, if anyone, we're trying to do a better job of getting the word out about what we're going to be talking about. So I will echo, if you would like anything added for review in Rules and Public Policy, time permitting, please let me know by Wednesday.
Thank you, Ms. Clear. Public Safety, Ms. Curitin.
Thank you so much, Madam President. Our last meeting was on January the 12th, and we will be meeting also on next Monday, February the 9th. A couple of our topics of discussion, and that's going to be at 6:30, a couple of our topics of discussion will be, what I'm hearing from our neighbors is that they want to talk about the speeding, especially a lot of the speeding that's happening on our side streets, and overall the safety of our community, and more so the neighborly effect, the role that each neighbor plays in our community. So we will be discussing that in great detail on February the 9th, 6:30. All are invited. If you would like to attend, email me. And if you are a citizen watching, you are also invited to attend and speak. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Curitin. Do we have any ad hoc reports for this evening?
Madam President, I just have one point of order, if we could. Thank you so much for this thorough agenda. I just wanted to clarify, if we could, just for organizational purposes, is there a way for our council committees to be in the sequential order in which we have them? So that would be under the council committees on the agenda with rules and public policy, followed by public safety, then CCDR, and then budget and finance, just for organizational purposes on our agenda.
Ms. Clear,
Yeah, I can do that going forward.
thank you.
I made a note of it so I don't forget.
Madam President.
Thank you, Ms. Curtin. Ms. Gaston.
Now, I had it ready, and of course, I cannot find it. But I just wanted to share that North College Hill School Board has selected and appointed a new board member. And I just wanted to say congratulations to her. Her name is Miss Kivana Walker. So we welcome you to our North College Hill City family. And that's all that I have.
Thank you, Ms. Gaston.
Madam President,
Ms. Curtin.
I am the alternate or the secondary for the Rita. I wanted to ask Ms. Zorb, I believe that you've attended those meetings in the past. Do you know what that schedule is? I don't know if Ms. Chichester or she's the official delegate and I am secondary. Do you know that information?
Madam President?
Ms. Zorb.
So I don't know, and like if there's a routine schedule. I just know that there was snow on the ground for the last meeting, so it was probably almost a year ago. But I'm sorry, I don't know a schedule. I just received an email, and they said the meeting is at this time and place, and I went.
Madam President,
Ms. Curtin.
do you know who that email came from?
I will search
Okay.
I will search for it and send that and forward to you so that you can get on the distribution list.
Thank you. That can be
Madam
for
President,
myself
yes.
and Ms. Chichester.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester.
yeah, if you could find out who it came from also and let me know, because I've been trying to reach out to people and haven't figured out, and that's why I didn't get a chance to answer your email out. I was waiting for a reply back from someone else, and then got lost in the shuffle.
Absolutely. I'll look for that.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Ms. Clear.
I don't necessarily have an official report. I do have an update for OKI. They have a couple of things coming up on the calendar, including an orientation and a luncheon. And I finally was able to make contact with the person at Rita who could sign me up to be, it's a member of the board, basically. She said that there was some information that was sent to the city shortly after the election was certified. So, but I did let her know that we had not yet had our organizational meeting in December, which is when they sent it. So that's why we did not respond to that particular communication. But that's all squared away now. So,
Thank you, Ms. Clear. Anything else under this section?
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester?
I would like to give a update on the We Thrive meeting Ms. Clear and I attended. So, if there are any families in North College Hill who need lead testing, they're doing a great initiative and they will come out to your home. They gave us some kits. And we're also talking about food boxes versus food pantry within the district of, not school district, but district of our city. And we were just encouraged about how we could make our community better. We talked about a farmer's market, possibly a lot of initiatives that coming down the pipeline for us as towards a public health initiative. Want to increase our outcomes based on their report that they gave us last year with our just health-wise and making sure we have the fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, and not only that, the exercise equipment and things we need for our community to be healthy. Did I leave out something? I feel like I'm missing one piece.
I don't think so. I think there was one thing about potential legislation, a resolution for health policy, but I don't believe we've received that draft yet from Hamilton County, but that'll be in the works as well.
Oh, and Madam President, may I add one more thing?
Go ahead.
I have a question. Madam Mayor, we have some things coming up for the We Thrive. What's our deadline to submit to get those into the newsletter?
Oh, let me look at the date, because we did send out a date. I believe you have, I don't wanna lie. Give me 1 second. I wanna give you the exact date.
You can email me
Okay.
whenever you get a chance.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure, so we get some of those things that are coming down for spring and summer and possibly fall for We Thrive as well. That's all my report.
Thank you, both of you. Before we move on to administration reports, I'd like to just put a mention here that I'd like everyone, if you have questions for the administration, please keep it to this section instead of also maybe utilizing call of members. It keeps the agenda moving smoothly and everything, so keep your questions to the administration during this section, and then we'll keep council call of members strictly to council comments only. Okay? So let's do admin reports. Mayor Nichols?
Thank you, Madam President. Mrs. Chichester, to answer any deadlines for the newsletter is the 18th, February 18th, 2026, which is a Wednesday. Got a couple things. We are, again, a Tree City, USA. Our application was submitted back in December, and it was approved at this level, and they sent it up to the state for approval. I'm assuming that it's approved because I got an email inviting us to the luncheon, which is coming up here pretty soon. I would like to thank our Public Works. They had a rough week last week, doing the best that they could with what we have. It's not easy, and we as citizens, I know we did the best we could as well, but I just would like to shout them out because those are long hours, you know, and their schedule is off when they work in the morning, so now you have to work in the afternoon, at night, and sometimes in the morning, and stay within the guidelines of the state with your rest and getting off the clock. So I was just like, we appreciate them. I do. I know you all do as well, and so do our citizens. So I'll keep them in my prayers for tomorrow as well, because they'll be right back out at it. And I know they've still been out trying to clear off certain sections. With that being said, I don't have it in front of me, but we were asked about an ordinance for our sidewalks. I don't really want to get all the way into that, but we've all driven through the city and we've seen our sidewalks in our neighborhoods and in the business district. And I'm just concerned about the kids tomorrow. So they don't have much sidewalk if you go up Hamilton. And I didn't pay too much attention. I didn't go all the way down Galbraith, but I'm sure it's almost the same. So just be cautious in the morning. I've seen kids, I've seen adults in the streets, walking in the streets, and just if we could just be careful, because tomorrow is really their first day back to school, and we're going to have kids. Some parents, I'm sure, will drop them off, but for those that have to walk, if we could just be a little bit more cautious, especially because it's going to be snowing again. So just keep them. We did, and I do apologize. We did talk about the newsletter, and it's coming out again in March, and I did give the date of 2/18. And what I was wondering is, you guys can think about it, but there's never anything from council in our newsletter. I'm not sure. I know you have a voice. I know it's something that you might want to say. You know, just remember, it's like 8 of you. So if you can compile it, we would be more than happy, you know.
Mayor Nichols?
Yes, ma'am.
If people were so inclined, when would be if
The 18th.
they get it to you by the 18th?
It needs to be to Ms. Dukestein. So if it could just be something from council, if you collaborate because of the space that we have, you know, if you all get together, and even if you had, hey, collaborate together to say whatever you want to say, or, you know, just from council's corner.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester?
since it is 8 of us, do we all want to send emails, or should we have a representative to
That's why I-
compile it, and then we share it with each other and decide on what?
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston.
I would absolutely love to work with Ms. Dukestein on Council's Corner.
Oh,
I love stuff. Oh, sorry.
That's
Y'all know
why
I
I-
love communicating with the neighbors. But, you know,
So
it's up to you guys.
we always say it's a mayor's newsletter when no, it needs to be a community newsletter, meaning that the collaboration needs to come from every angle. And council is a huge part of our city. You make the decisions as far as, legislative. So I think it's important that you do have something, but just remember, it's not a whole sheet. So that's why I was saying, to hear your voice, to put something in there. Think about it. If it's not this one, maybe the next one.
Madam
Okay.
President,
Ms. Clear.
Madam Mayor, I wanted to, you said February 18th.
Yes.
I know the CIC was wanting to put something in the newsletter, and they don't meet again until the 19th. We were going to be working on that. And then also, I believe We Thrive is meeting on the 20th. So if there's any wiggle room, I'm not trying to immediately try to get an exception to the rule right 5 seconds after you just said so, but it's just a quirk of the calendar that those particular meetings aren't happening until after the 18th
So
deadline.
not knowing the hard deadline that they have, I know it's typically right there,
Right.
You've worked on it as well, so it's typically right there.
Well, what we can do, Madam President,
Ms. Clear.
what we can do is potentially try to get something worked up ahead of that deadline.
That's what I was going to suggest, maybe reach out to CIC
Yeah.
to see what exactly they were looking to put in there, and you said We Thrive.
We Thrive as well.
Yeah.
Madam President,
Ms. Curitan.
so I'm so excited about council having a voice in the newsletter, the community newsletter. That's really important because a lot of customers, a lot of citizens don't know who serves them beyond just sitting here. So I would like to make a motion, and part of my motion, I'm going to explain it. I believe that we all have different voices and different opinions, different ideas of what we like to see, but I think we can come to an agreement that everybody's voice matters and everybody has something good to say and add value. So I want to make a motion in two parts. I would like to make a motion to have Ms. Beverly Gaston to work with City Administrator Dukestein for the first quarter, and then subsequently for second quarter, Ms. Chichester. So we can already have that in place. We can actually have it to her in advance of that time frame.
Point of order to your motion. I'm not real sure if that actually needs to be a motion, because
Madam
think
President.
Ms. Gaston, was that you? I apologize.
Yes, Ms. Chichester and I are on the same CCDR committee, and I think in that committee, she and I can work together every quarter. And if you feel that you want to send it over to Ms. Dukestein, that'll be great, but I think that would be an awesome opportunity for us to collab.
Madam President.
Madam President.
Ms. Clear.
So with that in mind, if there's anything, just to streamline the communication flow, if there's anything that we want potentially to suggest for the newsletter, that we could direct it to the chair of the CCDR, and then you could work that out in your committee. And that should be a week before, at least a good week before the content would be due. So
Ms. Chichester.
that's just my suggestion.
Sorry, I apologize, Ms. Clear.
No, that's
Ms. Chichester.
suggestion. How about the committee chairs responsible for putting, my whole reasoning wanting to do it was to make sure some We Thrive initiatives that we were working on got put in there. So,
Perfect.
but as a rule of order, since there are so many of us and there's 4 committees and minus the ad hocs, but those don't come monthly, maybe the chairs submit. That way there's order and there's a point person. So we're not bombarding everyone with all our initiatives, because I think we all could find at least 5 things each to put in there, and a newsletter turns into a newspaper, so, or a magazine, So I think that would be a better service of idea, because we all can work together and communicate.
Ms. Curitan, would you like to retract your motion?
I'm not sure. So I heard two different perspectives. I heard the collaboration, and then I also heard to go to the chair of CCDR. So my original motion was for it to go to the chair of CCDR. And if the chair wants to collaborate with whomever, but I think for this aspect, I don't know if we want to vote on that or if we just want to.
Well, how about this? Let me, hold on one second. So I will refer this to, I will refer this to your committee, Ms. Gaston, and then there will be no need for a motion. I'll put it to your committee, and then I really, really like hearing the air of collaboration. So we'll go ahead and do it that way. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Madam Mayor, did you have anything
I
else?
did.
Sorry, we just took that and ran with it and then forgot you
Quite all
behind
right.
us.
I only have a couple more points. Our HR person did start today. Mr. Porter. Don't ask me his first name because I didn't write it down in my notes. Neither time we talked about him. I just wrote down his last name. So he did start today. So if you have any needs that way, I guess you can ask for him. You all should have, the ladies, I'm not sure if Mr. Davis received it. You should have received an email from Commissioner Driehaus. Okay. Since I said it, I'll say it for our citizens. Elected women in the Hamilton County, they do a huge photo op. So if we all recall, at some point we couldn't, well, not us, women weren't allowed to vote. So this is huge. Now we have women sitting in these seats. So on March 10th at 4 p.m., but I believe you have to register if you're going to go down. They take a picture down on the courthouse steps of all the elected women, and they're asking that you wear purple.
I can do that.
So if anyone of our elected ladies here would like to go down and be a part of that, I hear it's really nice. Ms. Zorb, have you gone before?
I have.
Yeah.
I have. It's pretty
And-
wild.
Yeah. So finally, this is February 2nd, and this is, yesterday was the beginning of Black History Month. So for those of you who don't know, Black History Month started as a week, and it was in 1926. So, but after that, over some times, they decided we should have a month. So however you choose to celebrate it, just celebrate some way this month. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Madam Mayor.
No, it was for the administrator report section. I saw that it was in the packet. I had printed off copies, but does everyone have a copy of her report? Okay, that's all I had. I just had copies of that.
Madam President.
Ms. Curitan?
So I'm so excited to see this report. Yay, and thank you for such a swift turnaround. I have not had a chance to fully dive into it, but what I've seen so far, it looks really good. Is there a way, Mayor Nichols, that we can have this email to us, for us to, and even if it, I understand the load of work that Ms. Dukestein has, but even if we can have it the day of, and potentially what I'm thinking is that our clerk can add it to a shared file so that we can always go back and reference it versus us just having it on paper. I do appreciate it on paper, but I would also appreciate it if we can have it electronically.
Madam President,
Mayor Nichols.
Ms. Curitan, would you like it emailed to her and she send it to you, or would you like it both sent to her and to council as well?
It is for council. I don't want to add anything else to what Ms. Clear already has to do. And I'm thinking the time frame of when Ms. Dukestein would provide this. So today is the 2nd of the month. I'm not sure when she finalized it and if this is going to be her cadence going forward. But if she could email it directly to council, of course, including our president, and she can also include our clerk.
Madam President,
Ms. Clear.
I I did want to just remind all of us that we're still planning on reviewing the shared SharePoint question in Rules and Public Policy. I believe that was referred to this committee at the last meeting. So in terms of the mechanics of how all that would work, that hasn't really been ironed out yet, but I do agree with email. The second, I did actually have a question also for the mayor really quickly. You mentioned a sidewalk ordinance, and I was assuming that was in reference to snow removal, but I didn't want to assume. So do we have an ordinance to that effect? Did you want me to research in the committee what that looks like for other cities, or what was the action item there?
Do have an ordinance,
Madam President.
my computer's
Madam
not staying
President.
charged, so I can't.
I did
Ms.
some
Orr?
investigation, if you'd like me to
Okay,
chime in.
yes.
So, because I saw the questions about it also, so I did a little research, and I found that we used to have an ordinance that said you had to remove snow
Snow.
from your sidewalk within 24 hours. It appears that it was repealed in 2015.
Okay,
At least that's what I found.
well, I didn't see the repeal one. Okay, but,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
Madam President,
Mayor Nichols.
that might be the research if she found the one. Do you remember which ordinance it was?
Nope, but I have it in notes at home. I can email you.
Okay,
Did I send it to you?
so I guess they don't have to clear it then if it was repealed. I mean, which,
Okay.
All right. Is there any further questions for the city administrator in
Ma-
reference? I'm sorry,
Sorry, Madam President.
Ms. Orr.
So, Madam Mayor, I noticed there's not a section on here for recreation. Do you know if that was just a miss, or is there no update, or will that be added in the future? Or?
it'll be added in the future.
Okay.
It probably was just a mishap on her end.
Perfect, thank you.
Madam
I'm
President.
still working out the kinks of the first one, I get it.
Yeah.
Ms. Alexander.
As far as like the sidewalk ordinance, how would that play with, say, like Hamilton Avenue when it's not a residence? It's a long stretch of, I don't know, I
Somebody
guess.
owns it.
You know, Madam President,
Mayor
to
Nichols.
be honest, I thought about that, and I've been thinking about that since last week. Our public works are so max taxed out. I mean, I think we should hire a company or hire someone to remove it. That's just my first thought. Because in most instances, the cities are responsible for sidewalks. Maybe that's why it was repealed. Some places the city are. They're like, oh, it's city property. That's what people say, it's city property. But if your water line breaks, you have to pay for it from your house to the street. So, we can ask the businesses, but who would do like that stretch from,
Like where the church is.
In front of
and, you
Journeys.
know,
yep,
it's a whole lot of different stretches as I was looking that it's not a residential.
right.
Madam President.
We've actually been talking about, what the solution is to that. It's not like we haven't had snow before, but it seems like this one was just different for some reason.
It's a lot.
Ms.
Yeah.
Chichester.
It's a lot.
I was just gonna say, a lot of different townships and cities hire contractors to come out with their industrial snow plows, and they pay them to do it. And also, I think the ordinance is ordinance ORD 2-2015, 2015.
Where
It's the
repealed.
ordinance to repeal certain section of the North College Hill Court ordinance related to ice and snow removal requirements.
So is this something, I'm kind of torn, would this be something that would need to be looked at in rules and public policy, or is this something that would need to be looked at in finance because
Madam-
you're talking buying a vehicle? or-
Madam President,
It's clear.
Excuse me.
I don't know that this would necessarily need to go back to rules, because we don't want to constantly be going back and forth, repeal, replace, repeal, replace. I think the better course of action would be to look at some type of long-term plan or policy, to the mayor's point. Potentially that would go to rules or to budget and finance, but if it's like a one-off, I mean, how often do we get snow like this? It's maybe once or twice a year. That's really, really bad like this, maybe 2 or 3 times on a really bad year. So I think investing in equipment doesn't necessarily to me make sense, but that would be something that I think would be better suited for budget and finance when the time comes to be looking at those forward financing decisions.
I agree. Like I said, I was torn between rules and public policy and finance, budget and finance. So
Madam President,
Mayor Nichols?
I think administratively, we just need to figure out what the plan is, what we can do. I think hiring someone at this particular point would be our best bet to get it cleaned up, to see if, they're out there. I know one of the streets had a gentleman, one of the residents called me, videoed, and it was a guy actually doing all of their sidewalks. So but they paid him, but they're out there. So it's just a matter of finding the right company. It's just something that we have to do for the safety of our citizens on those main roads.
Madam
And I think it
President.
would be
Madam
main
President.
roads.
Ms. Curitin?
I would actually like to invite, with, of course, Ms. Dukestein and along with our Public Works team, I would like them to come to our meeting. Maybe they can tell us what they need. And from a legislative standpoint, we can determine how we want to move forward. I don't think any of us work in the industry that they do. And I think it would be best to hear from the subject matter experts to determine how we should move forward. Granted, it only happens 2 or 3 times a year, but there also may be gaps when it comes time to take care of things in the spring or even the autumn time, that we can better support them, again, legislatively. So I would like to invite them to a meeting so that we can hear from them and determine what we need to do to support better.
Madam President.
Ms. Zorb?
So I was thinking, I've done a lot of snow blowing in the last couple of days. And I was thinking, what if the city would buy like some kind of gator or some kind of piece of equipment that could, in the summer, have a cutting blade on it. In the winter, we put a snowplow, a blade, a snow blade. And I would volunteer to drive that.
Me too.
It'd be a whole lot easier than what I've been doing, I'll tell you that.
Ms. Claire, did you say something?
I did not. It was Ms. Chichester.
I apologize, Ms. Chichester.
What's a gator? Sorry.
It's, I don't know, some,
One of those little utility vehicles.
Yeah,
it's like a
four-wheeler.
mini
I call
a
it
four-wheeler
golf
thing.
cart looking
golf
like
cart,
thing.
like
That's
a honey golf cart,
ish.
like,
the
yeah,
golf
yeah.
cart
But
on steroids.
it's beefier than a golf cart.
Right,
Yeah.
it has more,
Yeah.
bigger wheels and stuff on it. Okay.
Okay,
You
do we
said
have
that, I was
any,
lost.
do we have any other questions to the city administrator's paperwork that she submitted? Ms. Chichester?
We didn't make a decision. Are we going to hire someone to deal with what's coming in the morning? Or are we just going to table it for future snow days?
We got this.
That's a whole nother.
Madam President.
Yeah.
Ms. Curitin?
So I want to, I think it would be best to have the administrator talk to her team, her staff, to determine if there are needs. Now, I do believe Mayor Nichols, although she's not here this evening, she is in preparation, planning for what could happen tomorrow. I don't know if we want to council, because I don't know if that's our space, so to speak, or if we need to allocate funding or what have you. But if she needs to support to say, hey, this is a bit much of a load for our guys, we need to contract with X, Y, and Z company. Her threshold is 75,000, correct? Yeah, so she can go ahead, and I don't think that would cost us greater than 75,000. Yeah.
I hope not.
Thank you.
Madam President, just one more
Ms.
point of
Claire.
order.
Yeah.
I don't mean to monopolize the conversation, but there is a provision like for emergency situations to deal with things exactly like this. So, yeah, so I think that's the process in place that we would follow in this circumstance.
Any other questions? No. Okay.
I'm so sorry. I just wanted to clarify a couple of things. Mayor Nichols, do you know, are you able to speak to this report sections? Are you, okay, yes?
Well, it just depends.
Okay, so my question is relative to code enforcement. It mentions that property maintenance is for businesses along West Galbraith, Goodman, and Savannah Business District. And that there were NOVs, notices of violation, that were completed. Do you know how many violations on average? Okay,
I do
all right.
know that they were issued, but I do not know what number of that he did issue.
Okay. Would you happen to know, were these violations subject to the snow we had, or was it something that happened
This
earlier
was
in the year?
Prior to the snow, just violations that he may have noticed
Okay.
or seen.
And do you know, because I know that we can always have it abated, but do you know if the violations were fixed, or did we simply provide a reputable trash removal company and then we'll abate the efforts, excuse
Are
me?
you referring to,
One of the second to last sentences says 2 reputable trash removal companies were identified to assist with abatement efforts. Additionally, staff assisted a tenant who was, okay, that's non-relative. So 2 reputable trash removal companies were identified to assist with abatement. So I'm wondering, did we ever have the violation corrected? Did we just fine them and walk away? Did the violation?
I
like, where
can't
does it
speak
sit?
to it. I mean, because I don't know all of the details within it.
Do you know that process? If there is a violation, we fine them, we abate it. What is that next step?
There's a process. So once they fine them, if they don't hear from them, you have to wait for them to say, okay, this is an issue. You have to give them the opportunity to correct it. And if they don't, he goes back out and then someone goes to abate it. And so from that point, to be honest, I really don't know all the details with his steps. But once you get to that point, then there's really nothing that the tenant can do at that point if we have to. Because we've contacted you, we've given you the opportunity. Either you ignored it or you didn't. Sometimes they do ignore it.
Sure.
Because it's really visible. He puts it on there. He goes and hands it to them. And so if you choose not to do anything with it, so then we have to come in. And then that's when.
Understood. So, Madam President, if we could, I know that you asked for any questions relative to this report for the city administrator to be had here. I would like to see a further expansion on it from a fiscal standpoint and from a relational standpoint. So fiscally, I'm thinking, when we abate, first, how much are we charging the person or the property owner or the tenant? What is that fee? And then in addition to that, when we have to hire a third-party company to abate, what is that fee? And then I would like to maybe see in this same schedule something that talks about our return on our investment. So if we go over to ABC company and ABC does not respond over and over and over, are we getting, like, are we just sending the notices out there each time and then we're just collecting, or what does that process look like, that whole full circle process for code enforcement? And then I would also like to request in the, there was one more section. I would like to request, if possible, and I hope this is not asking too much, if there could be, because I know we just had a lengthy discussion on public works, some of the things that they need, how we can work more efficiently, better. If there are any areas of struggle, and I use that word loosely, but any areas of improvement that needs to occur, and then any highlights, like any big wins from each area. That way, it can allow us to know, like, hey, do we need the gator? Hey, do we need to contract out? Or, hey, what do we need to do from a big picture standpoint? Is that something that we could?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Madam President. May I be excused?
Ms. Alexander.
I just wanted to ask clarity from Council Member Curitin.
when you are asking for the process, and this is just for me, and maybe they may have that same question as well, are you wanting this for each report, or are you asking for the next report just to have a general process? What is the fee for the person who had the violation? What is the return for this particular violation? Or do you want it a detailed report, say if next time it's not trash removal, next time it's grass? Do you want a detailed report each time, or just a general process? Hey, this is how much it costs when we hire Jim Jones to cut the grass. This is how much we charge when Vanilla Ice removes the snow.
Really?
Or do you want a detailed, for whatever that it's placed in this report, you want it to relate to the items that are in this report? Madam President.
Ms. Curitan?
So what I'm looking for is, I look at this as being every department should be revenue generating. So for example, we don't have code enforcement just there just to slap a violation on the door. Ultimately, we want to preserve that relationship, whether it's with a property owner, whether it's with a homeowner, or whether it's with a business. But if they are not responding, then I would like to see what kind of revenue that brings into our city. Because if they have a business here, they're making money in our city. So I would like to, make sure we can preserve the relationship. But if there are issues with that, like if their building is out of code, we want to up the standards in our community. So I would like to see what, and I believe it will be the same, whatever we would charge for if their grass is repetitively high, that fee would be the same. So we wouldn't need that in every single report. But I would like to know is, moreover, when we have these violations, if Vanilla Ice it's April, and he every single month has his grass that's super high, and we always abate it to a third party, what does that process look like to actually get Vanilla Ice to cut his grass? Or figure out if there is something that I need to do neighborly to support Vanilla Ice. Maybe he's sick, maybe he can't get to the door, and maybe he's elderly, whatever it could be, to identify that, so ultimately it beautifies our community.
Who was the other person that tied Ms. Alexander for a question? Ms. Chichester? Go ahead.
Do we need to vote them out?
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston?
do we need to take a 2-minute recess for Ms. Chichester?
Do I hear a motion?
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston?
I would like to make a motion for a 2-minute recess.
Do I hear a second?
Somebody did.
Madam President, I'll second.
So we have a motion from Ms. Gaston and a second from Ms. Zorb to take a 2-minute recess. Roll call?
Ms. Sorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander, Ms. Curitan,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester. Motion passed 6-0.
Back to order. So are we done with the questions for the city administrator and the mayor? Can we move on to the law director? Mr. Dieters, do you have a report for us tonight?
Madam President, I don't have a report other than to let council know that we do have negotiations scheduled with the FOP tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Hopefully we all can make it, or we can leave there. But I believe we'll probably most likely be very close to wrapping up that contract by the end of the day tomorrow, and then we will do the part-timers. And once those are finished, I'll have the city administrator get those in the council's hands, and at some point in the future, there'll be a legislation to approve it.
Thank you, Mr. Dieters. I did not see the finance manager here tonight. Mayor Nichols, can you confirm she's not here to give a report? Okay. Ms. Clear, do you want to do a call of members? Roll call?
Ms. Sorb.
Hi, thank you. So, in case everyone didn't know, today is Groundhog's Day. And in Gobbler's Knob, Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney Phil did Imagine that, see his shadow, signaling, according to lore, that another 6 weeks of winter, which is why we have snow scheduled for tomorrow, I believe. Another thing in February is the Olympic Winter Games. The opening ceremony starts, ceremony is this Friday, and they are in Milan, Italy, so it lasts from February 6th until February 22nd. And then February is a busy month. So then the Super Bowl is February the 8th, where the Seattle Seahawks play the New England Patriots. And then for all of those lovebirds out there, Valentine's Day is February the 14th, and it falls on a weekend this year, so this is your reminder to make those reservations early. And February is also American Heart Month. It was established by President Lyndon B. Johnson with a presidential proclamation 3566 in December of 1963. The observance was created to raise awareness, educate on risk factors like high blood pressure and cholesterol, and promote heart-healthy habits such as diet and exercise. National Wear Red Day takes place on the first Friday in February, which is, again, this February 6th. And the purpose is to raise awareness that heart disease is the leading cause of death for women in the United States. And then finally, this is, as Mayor Nichols pointed out, this is Black History Month. And as someone with less melanin, I want to acknowledge Black History Month as a time not for me to speak over Black voices, but to listen, learn, and reflect. Black history is not separate from American history. It is foundational to it. And many of the freedoms and opportunities that I benefit from today were shaped by the resilience, brilliance, and sacrifice of Black Americans. Honoring this month means recognizing both past injustices and ongoing contributions, and committing ourselves individually and as a community to fairness, dignity, and mutual respect. And that is all I have, Madam President.
Thank you.
Ms. Gaston.
Thank you. So first I want to say welcome, Mr. Porter, our new HR manager. I'm really excited to work with you and meet you. So hopefully soon, for good reasons, not bad. But I also wanted to shout out Councilwoman Zorb. She had a call to action that we would get together and help our students and seniors and those who are disabled. And we had a really, really good time shoveling. It sounds like we're going to do it again tomorrow, but just helping people out who just couldn't do it. And there was one citizen that was really appreciative. She had a doctor's appointment that was extremely important, and she couldn't get out of her driveway. So I'm just saying that to say that if you see your next door neighbor to your left, to your right, in front and back struggling, help them out. You're not going to get in trouble. Hopefully you don't get sued, but just be a neighbor. I just wanted to also shout out Donna Bruner, the Galato family, Edward Beverly, for coming out and helping, and all of the teens that came with their families that helped also. We did a couple of blocks, a couple of driveways. So I just wanted to say, help a neighbor. Just a little time makes a big impact. I also wanted to let you guys know that it is Black History Month, as everyone else has said, and just be on the lookout. If you guys are not aware, there is a Facebook page called North College Hill Talk. If you want to be in the know, join it, because you'll see everything on there, trust me. But the goal for me this month is for you guys to see occasionally Black history information that's unique to North College Hill. For example, many of you guys may or may not know, but the first African-American mayor is Mayor Nichols. So just little things like that we can learn about our city and just continue to love our city and watch it grow. And lastly, I would like to say thank you to Public Works for all the hard work they did, staying over and working really hard in these frigid conditions. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Point of order to your call of members, Ms. Gaston.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
seem to remember that Ms. Whittlesbach was also there shoveling.
Ms. Whitlisbach was also there shoveling as well. Yes,
And so
my
were you.
bad. And so was I. I was there too, I think. Were you there, Self? Yeah. But that's all.
Okay.
Miss Alexander.
I would like to thank all of the citizens of North College Hill that assisted anyone in any way,
Yes.
whether it's, hey, I know you can't get out of your driveway, but hey, I'm at the store. Would you like for me to bring you something? It really warmed my heart to see my constituents and friends and neighbors out there helping one another. And I'd like to just thank everybody just for putting the best face out there for North College Hill. I want to remind everyone, because North College Hill was, city schools were closed this past week, they will be attending schools, seems like from next Monday until eternity. So usually they're off on Mondays, but now, next Monday, I think up until March sometime, they will be attending school to make up those days. So it's good that they had those buffer days. Also, I believe it's our city administrator's birthday today as well. And I would like to say happy birthday, Ms. Dukestein.
Bummer to be sick on your birthday.
So no, I'm not going to sing, but happy birthday. And that's all.
Thank you.
Miss Keratin.
Thank you so much. Council, President, administration, and to our clerk and to our audience, thank you so much for being here. I have such joy and fortitude in my heart this evening. It's been a very long January. I'm so excited to see February, and I can't wait to see spring. I'm so grateful for our Public Works Department. They have been working sun up, sundown to make sure that our streets are safe, that our driveways, that we can get into them. I actually, on my street, I know that some people were saying they, in some other neighborhoods, not North College Hill, that they were having issues with their driveways. And so I'm just glad for what they have done in our community to make sure our streets are safe. In my home, I didn't pick up a shovel. I left that to my husband and my son and to our cousins to do. I'm not a winter person. I love spring. But I'm so grateful to Councilwoman Zor, Councilwoman Gaston, President of Council Whitlisbach, and everyone else who helped out. It really takes a lot of, it takes a positive attitude to go out there and do something for your neighbor when you absolutely get nothing in return outside of a thank you or a pat on the back. But I know that the smiles on those faces of those citizens who saw someone come to their home unsolicited to help out, that speaks volumes of what a true leader is. And it's beyond just sitting here. It takes each of us to see a neighbor at Kroger or Walgreens or whatever and see how we can serve our community. So shout out to y'all. I also want to give a shout out to our athletic department at North College Hill City Schools. Y'all, I am blown away. Coach Tyler Williams is new to the district. He's been here, I don't know, not even a full year yet. And within the short amount of time he's been here, he has brought 12 different colleges or universities to North College Hill. Colleges and universities that had not been here over the past 3, 4, 10 years. And so I'm glad that he's here. I'm glad for our athletic director, Rayshawn Walton, and the leadership that Dr. Eugene Blaylock provides. As a mom who works full time, who is in school and has her hands in a lot of different things, I take education very, very seriously. And I am so excited that a lot of the students who may not have had the exposure to go to college or understand what the FAFSA is or even determine what they would like to be beyond high school graduation, they now will have that ability to talk to recruiters and talk to athletic directors and coaches to say, hey, yes, I'm interested in going to Boston, and hey, I want to go down to University of Kentucky or wherever it could be. They can dream and they can aspire. And so shout out to Tyler, Rayshawn, and Dr. Blaylock for giving our youth that exposure. February is all about love. We all know about that. But February is not just about love. It's about the connections, and it's about showing appreciation. to people around you. Sometimes it's just good just to go to your neighbor's house with some cookies or a loaf of bread and just say, hey, I'm just checking on you. I haven't seen you beyond taking out the trash. So it's just good to show neighborly love, not just romantic, but also friendships and family too. Black History Month is all month of February, and one of the most significant recognitions, in the United States and several other countries, Black history is recognized. It's a time dedicated to honoring achievements, history, contributions of those who are in the Black community. One of the major ones that allows me to sit here today is Shirley Chisholm. She made history in 1968 as being the first African-American woman elected in the United States Congress, serving from 1969 to 1983. So because she did, I can. February is also American Heart Month, and this is very near and dear to me. I had my father pass away when he was 52, and he passed away from a heart attack. So I take this time very, very importantly. And I understand that although my husband was a man, that this really impacts African American women more than any population across this country and this world. And so I encourage every woman out there. I know we carry a lot on our shoulders as moms, as wives, as daughters, as sisters, as aunties, as cousins, and corporately. But I encourage every woman to put themselves first because they are their greatest asset. And lastly, I want to send out my condolences to the Schaefer family. I understand that Mike Schaefer, who is the son of Jerry Schaefer, he passed away. If many may not know, I learned today that Schaefer Park is named after Jerry Schaefer. So our condolences to the entire family. Thank you.
Ms. Clear.
Thank you. I wanted to echo the sentiments about thanking Public Works for all of their hard work. This is whenever these snow events happen, or really whenever we have any kind of severe weather, they are working so hard. I don't even know how the right words for it, but hats off to them. They just work. So much happens behind the scenes that we don't even know about, and it's just they do an amazing job. The other thing I wanted to say, also to echo what everyone else has said, I won't repeat it, about Black History Month and Heart Health Month, and personal anecdote. I have high blood pressure. I know a lot of people probably do. It's part of the reasons I'm so enthusiastic about public health, is getting outside of your four walls. And it has to do with community as well as taking care of yourself. Physical exercise is so important. And getting fresh air, getting out there, and that's one of the reasons I push so hard to get our parks renovated and things like that, so we can get out there and have some fun while we're taking care of ourselves. The other thing that I did want to mention, and I don't know if this is the appropriate mechanism to do so, but just when we are together, working together and trying to work out as a council, when there's motions on the floor and things get heated, please remember that each of us individually on council should have the opportunity to speak. And sometimes that does not happen. And I know that our council rules allow for each of us to speak one time. If we could give each other some space to do that, because I know that we all have our thoughts and opinions that we want to share, and sometimes it gets really heated. But I was looking through the minutes and looking through some things, and there were times that we didn't all get a chance to speak, before there was a call to vote. And so I just want us to keep that in mind, that we're all here to work together. All of our voices matter, and allowing each of us to contribute when there's a motion on the floor or a topic of discussion that requires council input, that we're allowing each of us to participate in that conversation fairly and equitably and in turn. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Mr. Davis.
Yes. Also, I'd also like to piggyback. I'd like to, of course, thanking our Public Works for their help, service, and sacrifice going through and going forward. And I'd like to thank us as a community. It doesn't feel like there's been as much complaining, as much they're not doing this, as much something's going on. Like, you know, we all understand we're all under a situation, and we're all doing our best trying collectively to get it together. I appreciate that. And also, yes, it is February, so we're going to celebrate and recognize Black History while we're still allowed to. And I'm going to recognize the North College Hill Black History before Brielle takes it. Coach, North College Hill has won 3 state championships in my memory, my recall. The basketball team won 1 state in 2005, 2006, and 2007. And the coach all 3 years, Jamie Mahaffey,
Yes.
who came up here, led here, coached, I want to say, till about 2014. And if I'm not, and I'd say at least up to last year, is still teaching at the middle school. And Coach Mahaffey also has two college-age sons, Evan and his youngest son. They're currently playing together for Akron. So shout out again to Coach Jamie Mahaffey. BG, feel free to copy and paste that one.
I will.
He's earned it. He's earned it. And if he answers my calls, he'll find out about a street sign in the next few months. Oh yeah, and last but not least, Motion NCH Season 2 coming sooner than later. Please speak to my left wing about that. Y'all take care.
Ms. Chichester?
Thank you. First of all, I would like to send my condolences to the Uptown Bengals family. I've learned they lost a coach. Prayers to that organization and everyone. That's always hard, especially for those children. And also, thank you to Public Works, Police, and Fire Department. You guys do what I could never do every day, and I truly appreciate all you guys for that. And feel better, and happy birthday, Ms. Dukestein. I know you're watching from home if you're not sleeping. And thank you to Ms. Asada. She called me and said, hey, I have some donations for the seniors. Who can I call to have these picked up? And me, not supposed to going outside when it's 0 degrees, of course, I throw on 2 scarves and get my gloves, and I go up there. I'm thinking she has a box. Well, she filled my SUV. So if you guys after council can help me get that out of my truck and my car, that'd be awesome. But no, I thought that was great that she thought about the seniors. Our seniors play bingo here, and they always have things for prizes and things, our household things that they could use. And so those donations really will help them. Shout out to North College Hill. For the last few years, they've been doing a resource fair. I'm looking at Ms. Alexander because I'm wondering if she can correct me if I'm not getting the name of the fair actually correct. Is it just resources?
It's a resource fair.
Just a resource fair. As a parent of a child with special needs, that truly would have helped me during that time when my daughter was in North College Hill at the time. So not that the school isn't great about getting resources, but as a parent, it just opens up to things outside of North College Hill, things that can help you as a parent, or just with those resources and things you need in order to transition from high school to adulthood. Those, shout out to that team that puts on that every year. And, heart disease. Heart disease can happen at any age. I am a survivor of heart disease. I had a heart attack at 26 years old. I was never a smoker, never a drinker, no recreational drugs, and I was fine then. Y'all only weighed 125 pounds. Okay. So it just goes to show it can happen to anyone at any moment, no matter what you think you're doing the healthy things. Please, please, please go get those physical examinations once a year from your primary doctor and ask for those tests if you feel those symptoms. Stop looking at me because you'll make me cry. Symptoms present different in women. Everyone is always used to that chest pain. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it could be just stress, tightness in your jaw. I thought I was just having a headache and was going to take some Tylenol and lay down. Thank God I didn't. So Yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Further remarks from the vast amount of audience members? Okay, let's move on to legislation.
Okay. We have the second reading of Resolution 01-2026, a resolution expressing formal censure regarding certain statements and conduct by a member of City Council during an official meeting. We have the first reading of Ordinance 01-2026, an ordinance to amend and establish salaries and staffing levels for the city employees pursuant to the requirements of Section 3.06 of the City of North College Hill Charter.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
a couple of things. So I would like to make some changes / corrections to this ordinance. But prior to that, I heard the mayor state that the HR specialist, Mr. Porter, started work today. And so that was part of the reason why why we're having this right now, was to add that salary to the ordinance. So I'm wondering if we need to suspend readings to get that initiated right away.
It would be helpful because the position had been vacant and we needed to get someone in there to get things continually, to keep them flowing or get them on target and make sure that they stay that way. So it would be nice if we could suspend the second and third.
So with that said, Madam President, I'd like to make a motion to make some modifications to the salary ordinance. What I did was I looked at some previous versions, and I think there were some changes that didn't get carried through in some of the different passages. So I'd like to make some of those changes now if possible. So the one correction is the law director's salary on this particular, on ordinance 1/2026 should be 56,160. Also, on the second page, under police, the administrative assistant, that should read quantity 1 individual, not 2. And then under public works, somehow the code enforcement officer got omitted from, actually, it's 2 copies ago. So I'd like to add, under the public works section, I would like to add quantity 1 individual, code enforcement officer, full-time, and that salary is $62,500. Under the public works supervisor, sorry, I'm going backwards, so up 2 lines. Under the public works supervisor, I would like to slash that salary and make that TBD because I understand that that position is not currently filled. And that is the end of my edits.
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston?
I would like to second that. Good catch.
I have a motion from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Gaston to amend the first reading, of ordinance 1-2026 to add the law director with a $56,160, the police administrative assistant quantity to 1, public works quantity to 1, full-time 62,500,
That's code.
and then
Enforcement.
That was code.
code enforcement, I apologize. I was trying to write fast,
Sorry, I should have talked slower.
and then public works supervisor to be determined.
Madam President.
Madam President,
Ms. Clear?
I believe if this is allowed, there's another, on the first page under section 1, it says the following salaries and staffing levels are set as listed below, effective as of, and there's nothing there. Is that typical? I would imagine that there should be a date there where this is effective as of this week. Was it January 1? I mean, we're amending the salary, so when would this particular version be effective? What's the effective date? Because that's what belongs in that space.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
I would think it would be today, or when, the date of passage.
Ms. Curitan?
Thank you, Madam President. I want to clarify a couple of things. One, Mayor Nichols, do you know if we currently have a seasonal employee in Public Works? So I don't know if that's summer or if it's winter.
I'm going to say yes, for the one employee that's there. I have not been told if he was full-time.
Okay, so this describes the seasonal worker as part-time?
Right. There's one employee that has been on there as seasonal.
Are you saying they're full-time though?
No, I said I don't know that they have made him full-time. There's one employee that I know was seasonal.
And just to clarify that question, they're working PRN as needed, or are they working?
I can't tell you what he works, but I do know that he was seasonal.
Do you know if we have a part-time recreational director?
A part-time recreational director?
On here, it's listed.
Oh,
Yes.
in here. I do know that that position is vacant right now.
So there's a vacancy there. Okay. Madam President, I'm not sure if this is the correct way to do it. I would also like to recommend that we make recreational director TBD. So I don't know if that's.
Madam
an-
President,
Ms. Zorb?
as a point of order, can I just amend my motion
Yes.
to add the recreation director to be changed to TBD?
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Curitan.
Any other discussion? Okay. So there's a motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Gaston. A motion to amend ordinance 1-2026, and I've listed this out previously. So, roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Curitan,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Okay. Do I hear any other
Madam
motions?
Madam
President.
President?
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion, we suspend the second and third readings on ordinance 1/2026.
Madam President?
Ms. Clear?
I'll second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Clear to suspend second and third readings on ordinance 1-2026. Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Curitan,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion, we adopt ordinance 1/2026 as amended.
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston?
I would like to second.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Gaston to, bear with me, hold on one second, sorry. To pass ordinance 1-2026 as amended. Discussion? Roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Kiraton,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Okay, moving right along. We're now to old business.
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston.
I have a piece of old business.
Okay.
I'm not sure, it was totally different council, but there was, we passed what was it called? Councilwoman Underwood worked on it, where we were going to work on a street sign, Isaac Matthew Moore Way. And I just wanted to know where we are with that process and if we can get a date for when we're going to put that up. That would be awesome.
Madam President,
Ms. Mayor Nichols.
I know that Public Works was instructed to order it. I'm not sure that the sign has come in yet. I do know it's probably been at least 3 or more weeks ago when they were instructed to order the sign.
Okay.
I just haven't heard that it's here yet. So it's hard to give a date when they're going to set it up and we don't know, right? So hopefully we can get it sometime later this month so we can do something in the spring or earlier part of March, I'm hoping.
Okay, Madam President,
Ms. Gaston.
would it be appropriate for me to get an update from our city administrator at our CCDR committee?
You can ask her if she has an update that she just hasn't relayed to me
Okay,
yet.
thank
Madam-
you.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester.
I asked this question maybe a week or so, 2 weeks ago, and it had just been ordered. It was after our first council meeting that I followed up on it, and it had just been ordered. And I knew there was like a delay because of weather and things. So I hadn't heard that it came in yet, so. And I know as soon as it came in, she was going to reach out to Ms. Ambrier Starr and let her know so they could plan together like a ceremony and things of that nature. So I know that in the background has been in the works. We were just waiting on it to get it in to move forward so we can say dates and times and, excuse me, y'all, my medicine's wearing off. So, yeah, that's where we were on that.
Okay, perfect.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb.
I thank you, Ms. Clear, for sending out the council committees and ad hoc members list. But I'd like to remind my fellow council members that there is still a vacancy in the North College Hill Tree City USA Board. If anyone would like to jump on that.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester.
what day and time do they meet?
It is the third Wednesday of the month.
I would, Madam President,
Ms. Chichester.
I can't make that date, but if they're open to a possible day of the week change, I would not, I would like to be on that committee.
I don't know if that would be a possibility.
I cannot speak for them, I don't know.
Maybe that's something you can look into and come back to us.
Okay.
Anyone else have any old business?
Madam
Madam
President,
Ms. Clear?
I just wanted to give a very quick update. In a previous meeting, and I cannot remember if it was a full meeting of council or committee, there was some discussion about Veterans Park. And I offered to work with Ms. Dickstein for a knowledge transfer, because that is a complicated piece of machinery there, that grant and everything. That knowledge transfer did take place. And Ms. Stevens-Knott was also a part of that conversation. So they have all the paperwork, all the documentation that they need, the full application packet that was originally submitted for the grant. They have everything they need at this point. And as far as I understand it, that is going to be moving forward with the appropriate next steps required by ODNR to get that project underway.
Thank you, Ms. Clear. Was there someone to my left that was
Madam President,
Ms. Gaston?
I just wanted to know if there was an update on the Recreation Commission. I know we talked about it briefly last year, and I didn't know where we were with members and so on and so forth.
There's not a new update with the weather. That's my fault because I was off work for 2 weeks sick. Yeah. And so then we had snow. So I haven't gotten with Mr. Blaylock, but I will get with him tomorrow to see who because he has to appoint some people as well. I have 3 people that I've talked to. There's 2 more I need to reach out to. I couldn't get hold of one, so I'll talk to him to see who his appointees are.
Okay, thank you.
Any other old business? All right, let's go to new business.
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
I would like to make a motion to appoint me to the City of Community Development and Recreation Committee and also Public Safety Committee.
Madam President.
Hold on one second, I
Okay.
apologize.
I didn't know if that Halls was for someone.
And safety?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Chichester, were you
I
gonna
was
state
gonna
something?
second that.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Zorb and a second from Ms. Chichester to appoint Ms. Zorb to City Community Development Committee and Safety Committee.
Madam President, how many individuals on council are currently assigned to CCDR committee, and who is currently on that committee?
Madam President. Madam President.
There are 5.
Ms. Gaston?
There are 5.
So adding Ms. Zorb would be a 6th?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you state an objection, Ms. Claire?
I don't object, but I might reconsider my membership on the committee because that's an awful lot of us to be on one committee, in my opinion.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester?
which committee or is it the public safety or?
The CCDR, I apologize, CCDR.
Okay, so
I'm
you
not
don't have a,
opposed.
you're not opposed, okay. So, any other discussion?
Madam President,
Ms. Curitin?
so just for a point of clarification, are you removing yourself from that committee, Ms. Clear, so that Ms. Zorb can join? Or are we going forward with a party of 6 on CCDR?
Madam President,
Ms. Clear?
I'm not suggesting that I remove myself at this time because that's not the motion that's on the floor.
Right.
So I'll have to think about that because I think it does get cumbersome when almost all of us are on one committee and then we end up, you know what I mean? So that doesn't mean I wouldn't want to support the work of the committee or help volunteer for things that needed volunteering, but just as a best practice, having some diversity in the committees is a good idea. So that's just where my head is at. But I'm not opposed to Ms. Zorb joining the committee. It's almost all of us at that point. So
I
just
get you.
wanted to make the public and us just to be cognizant of that.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Madam President,
Ms. Zorb?
my purpose is not to be cumbersome, but I also don't want you to be uncomfortable with this. And similar to what you just said, I just want to support some of the ideas and momentum that's with that. So maybe I can just hang out. How about if I amend? Because I agree. I agree to an extent. I agree we shouldn't be that heavy, and I should have counted before I asked. So I'm going to amend my motion
Okay.
and remove me from CCDR and only add me to public safety, and I'll just help out if you need me.
Also
that?
too, Ms. Zorb, just because you're not officially on the committee doesn't mean you can't come and, support the
Yes.
committee.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Chichester?
Ms. Zorb, I have you on public safety.
Madam President,
Ms. Curitin?
on public safety is Ms. Alexander, myself, Ms. Clear, and Mr. Davis.
Okay.
There were There were two different versions of the, I'm sorry, Madam President,
Go ahead.
forgive me. There were two versions there were the wrong names on them.
Yeah, and I must be looking at the wrong one then, because, okay. I was looking at the list and I was like, wait a minute, you're on there. Okay.
Ms.
Thank you.
Chichester, since you seconded the original motion, are you okay with the amendment?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So I have a motion on the floor for Ms. Zorb and a second for Ms. Chichester to appoint Ms. Zorb to Safety Committee. Roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Ms. Curitin,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Any other new business? I have a bit of new business. Oh, sorry. I heard it. Oh,
I just had a question, Madam President, sorry.
Ms. Chichester.
Can someone forward me the new version of the, because the
Ms.
one I
Clear,
had.
do you mind
Thank
forwarding her the corrected version of that?
Yes, I can resend you the new version.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Hold on. Yes, Ms. Gaston.
Oh, go ahead. If someone has new business.
I did.
Go ahead.
So, it has been brought to my attention by the city administrator, Ms. Dukestein, about the sergeant at arms. If you remember the last council meeting, I had brought it up and asked everybody to bring some ideas forward to this next council meeting. But it was brought to my attention, by email by Ms. Dukestein stating that since it's not really aligned in the charter that, about the sergeant of arms, that she would like that referred to committee in regards to more details on that and what we would need going forward, and if we need to go with someone else other than the chief of police or the interim chief of police. So, Ms. Curitin, I'd like to refer that to safety to have that reviewed, if you don't mind.
Madam President, that's fine.
Any other new business, Ms. Gaston?
Madam President, I would like to make a motion that we adjourn tonight's meeting.
Madam President,
Ms. Chichester?
I second.
I have a motion on the floor from Ms. Gaston and a second from Ms. Chichester to adjourn. Roll call?
Ms. Zorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander, Ms. Curitin,
Yes.
Ms. Clear,
Yes.
Mr. Davis,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.